We are live. Hi, Ponus. Hi, Lady Blind Wolf. Thank you for coming. How are you? Here with Rachele.
How are you doing today?
Got some things to talk about, guys. Exciting stuff. Rachele and I put our minds together. Y'all know I've been resting a bit, kind of here and there, and just wanted to give you guys a bit of some updates and some things Rachele and I been speaking about and stuff we're planning. So yeah, people, but welcome everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna read from my notes here. I'm just having tooth problems. Hope you feel better, Ponus. Toothaches are the freaking worst.
They are the worst. We can both relate to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So, as you guys know, for a while now, I've been walking through the left-hand path, discovering things along the lines of Luciferianism and kind of exploring with the dark side. So that hasn't really changed so much. However, I think other things are kind of being introduced into my path. Hi, long hair, skinny-eyed toe. Welcome. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some of these things that have kind of just emerged the past few months for me. And Rachele's kind of been there along on my journey through a lot of my path revolution breakthroughs. And so, yeah, I just wanted to discuss some of that today. And so a few months back, I had a dream, and I believe it was from a past life. I was a Swedish man, and I was a sacrifice. I saw the priest in my dream, and he had stag horns on his head. And I began having more like Nordic things attract my attention, more closer relationships with the Nordic pantheon, like deities' energies or ravens and runes and stuff. And yeah, so I also found out that, sorry guys, I'm rusty on lives. Okay, don't judge me. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I just kind of been seeing ravens daily, feeling a lot of impactful, like they're bringing messages. They show up at the random, most weird times when things are happening or changing lately. And then upon further research, I found that you guys know about my Native and Celtic heritage, but I found that I also have Swedish Norse descent family as well. So I'm like, cool. So why is all that kind of important? Well, we're going to get into that. Oh man, lots of, I don't want to say crazy. Yeah, twists. So many twists, like where this path has been taking me. All right, so where am I? Yeah. So after my attention kind of turned toward the Nordic pantheon and I'm looking into things and dreams, other doors began to unlock for me. And this was all kind of coming to me back to back. So then I had another very vivid dream, just one of those, it hit you to your core, it meant something, it's just one of those. Well, in this dream, I was in a large government facility as a prisoner. And this wasn't too long after the sacrifice dream. And I was directed into a large room with other prisoners, and I noticed Rachele in the dream. And we had a mutual understanding. We were going to watch each other's back in this dream, but we knew we could not let the guards or anyone know that we knew each other. So we're kind of watching each other's back, as the dream's going along in this crowd of prisoners. And then these guards come and collect me and take me to this room, and there's this large mirror with golden trim, and they keep trying to force me to look into it, and I'm like fighting them at first, like no, no, but then I finally look into the mirror, and there was mountains in the background with this beautiful woman, pale complected, white hair. She had a pendant that stuck out to me. It was round and gold. And I heard a little whisper saying that I am from those who dwell within the mountains. And then I heard, you are activated. And the image in the mirror sizzled like a gold pillar. Well, after this happened, I'm telling Rachele about all this. Hello, everybody. Witch of the Meadows, hello. And Raven Morning Glory, hello. Thank you for coming. So, yeah, said I was activated. And since that dream, my intuition kind of just like expanded. All these like messages and just kind of like a knowing and some downloads, like memories of past lives, dreams, visions, astraling, you name it. All kinds of psychic stuff has been a lot easier to access, or psychic experience. It's more frequent now. And so from here, I'm wondering where all this is going, because if you would have asked me about like higher dimensional beings or extraterrestrials a few years ago, I would have been open to the possibility, but also I would have probably been like, nah, well, never say never, guys. After this dream, you guys know, some of you asked me to use my passion in writing, maybe write some stories and audio them for you. So I was working on that on the side in my downtime. And I came up with an awesome fictional fantasy story. But where it gets interesting is, as I'm writing this story, I am receiving so many messages, and it's telling me, incorporate it into this book, put it into this story. People got these things. You gotta speak this. And it got so intense that I was up for days and nights typing at the computer, bruising, swelling, but I just could not stop, couldn't turn it off. And I mean, information that would probably blow the minds of a lot of people. It's just, even me, I'm like, wow, is this happening? But as I watch shows, like Rachele introduced me to Gaia, what's interesting is I started watching some of them, and I'm going, oh shit. I was told to put in or around this into this book. I'm receiving messages here, So yeah, I do believe I'm getting information from these beings, and it's changed my perspective a lot, communicating with these beings, gods, angels, demons, cryptids, all over. To me now, they're ascended masters of our universe, and Rachele and I will probably get into that a lot deeper later. And explain all of this and how all this came about, and pieces we've connected together, because we're working on a lot of big stuff with this kind of behind the scenes. Yeah, so some of the messages I got, for example, because I didn't want to completely be totally secretive on you, but like one of them I got was, all higher dimensional beings that have visited Earth, like in many different time periods, created different races for different motives on Earth. So going back to why Norse stuff was pushed in, and then finding out my ancestors, going back to my pull to Ireland and my ancestors and messages I'm receiving here, it kind of clicked for me, and it made sense to me that millions of years ago, these different races created our races, and it got mixed along, And some of the messages I got was each races were battling territory on Earth. Some had other motives for our races. But then as time went on, they realized they need humanity as much as we need them for our growth, our evolution, to sustain the balance in the universe. Trust me, I know how some of this sounds to you, but I don't care because I've had so much validation. It's real to me and to Rachele.
Oh, look at what Lady Blindwolf just said. She said, it's interesting that I was just on Kimber Kiss's live and we were talking about dates and all the activations that people were going to be having.
Wow.
Yeah, it's happening across the board. That's why people are actually starting to listen now, because they're experiencing it for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. And it's wonderful. To me, that's an exciting time to be alive when we're discovering all of this, when we ourselves are activating, we're going through changes, we're experiencing ascension, we're experiencing, things that we've been trying to achieve for a long time. So that being said and talked about, okay, sorry.
That's okay. Notes are a good thing.
I wrote down like points so I know I didn't miss anything to tell you guys about, because I had a lot of updating here to do over the past.
I would laugh if you've seen us when we're having our like little chats. We'll be talking and the other person will go, oh, and then they'll try to hold it while the other person finishes. And by the time we get to the other person, they can't remember anything because we're so squirrel brained, right?
Right.
There's just too much stuff in there.
What started out as a fantasy book has now turned into it probably still considered a fictional story. However, it's got a lot of very real experiences and very real messages in it. So that's exciting, and it's going to be exciting to release. And I'm interested to see what other people think about it as well. So going forward, I did take a bit of a break with my demon work due to finding out I had liver issues and such. Mm-hmm. But, I'm feeling confident now going forward in my work. I have so much that I haven't shared on my channel yet. So much. And I think one of my issues is I try to take as much as I can and cram it into a 5-minute video and move on to the next thing, because I'm so excited to just share and get everything out there that I really miss information I could be putting out. So I did want to let you guys know I will be releasing that promised information that I've gathered from my time working with these entities and some other stuff. And going forward from here, I received a little whisper from an entity I haven't worked with yet or had the privilege to, Azazel. And I feel that was for a good reason, because I'm going to be incorporating some of my Nordic sorcery. You guys are going to see a little bit of that brought in with my continued path workings with the demonic or other entities. And I'm working on developing a runic system. I have not perfected it yet, but I am working on it. And I'm taking the Tree of Life, or Yggdrasil, and also the Kabbalah and the occult anatomy. And I'm trying to merge it into a working system and work with Azazel with that, so that we can use the runes and the tree and these paths to explore and experience different doors or realms, or kind of like a hijack system to easily access other areas that we're trying to get to or achieve to experience. So there will be more on that as I go along with that. And I am really excited to share all this with you. And Rachele and I also have some stuff here together. You wanna be the one to have the honor? And
sure. So we had been talking, because what day was it that we started learning about like the angels and like the days of the week? That was like a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? There was a group of us.
Right.
And we had all found out in the group that every single one of us was born on a different day and had a different angel. We were only missing one person, and we would have had all days of the week. And we thought, wow, I mean, what kind of connection is that? That is like a wild connection, to be sitting in a room with several other people and we're all talking about our experiences, common dreams, stuff like that, connecting the dots between all of us. And then all of a sudden we find this out, and I don't even know what got us down this path. I don't even remember what got us down that path. That wasn't the important thing, but we got to that path. And lately, that's all I've been thinking about is angels, right? And you started getting these connections again with the demons.
Right.
And so we had talked earlier, and I knew that you had said that you were going to start putting out more information about the demons again, because that, for one, that's what drew me to you to begin with, was learning that stuff that I was just too chicken to learn. And I thought, man, this lady is so friggin' cool. She is learning about this kind of stuff that I'm just too much still in Christianity, I think. Too much in that mode, to look at it. And she is just so gutsy and she's rebellious and she's just doing it. And that's what drew me to you. Yeah, right on. So we thought, why don't we, because I told you, you are the person that really, really made me start looking at things from a different perspective, because of the way that you come into it. And I know what a good person you are. I mean, it's obvious in everything that you do and the person that you are. But yet you dealt with demons. And I was like, what the hell? All my old misconceptions kind of went crack and threw out the window, So you opened me up to that other world and showing me that it's not like what people think. If you're coming from like Christianity and you hear all these terrible things about demons and what have you. So we said, why don't we do something together that has to do with demons and angels? What was it that you said that you thought that the demon was to the angel?
Well, if a lot of you studied a lot of like Solomon's work, different things like that, you'll know that archangels are used as well. And the further you get in your research and study, I mean, you should get, hopefully, if you're doing demon work, that most archangels has its counterpart demon and most demons has its counter angel. So I've come up with a feeling that perhaps these are the same energies, but you have the shadow, like a tarot card.
Right.
Things could be just the shadow of that entity. I mean, they're powerful beings and they have many abilities. And viewing them outside of a Christian way or a religious way, I mean, it makes sense to me. I forgot where I was going.
Great misconceptions, right?
Right.
It's not about, and this is what we talked about, it's not about making someone lean more to working with demons or working with angels. It's just about information.
Right. It's
bringing information to light. And look at what Lady Blindwolf said. She said that's how she's been feeling lately, and now she's doing shadow work, right? Shadow work.
Because in the end, we want knowledge. We achieve, like a practitioner of the occult. In the end, it is about, results. We want results. We want knowledge behind us to achieve those results. And I try to do that through any means of getting it. But also, after working with these guys, I don't view them as evil beings in the shadows ready to devour our souls at all. No. As I was explaining earlier, we were talking and I told Rachele, if we walked by a dog who had its foot caught in a trap, our initial response to that, well, I mean, you would hope most people's would be, well, they can't really help themselves out with this, so maybe I should lend them a hand. These beings, their intelligence is way different than ours. They are higher dimensional any way you look at it. So they kind of view us the same. They're more than happy to help. I'm not saying there can't be dangers while working. Each entity I have a problem with categorizing them all into one, like, oh, they're demons, they're all bad. No, they each
Mhm.
own individuality. They each have their own way of doing things and thinking. So it very much varies from each spirit that you're working with.
Yes.
Like I told her, Clonic is probably one of the most amazing entities I've ever worked with. He's considered, a demon, one of Lucifer's beloved, but wonderful. And I always recommended him for a beginner as well. However, Beelzebub, he was a little bit more tough love type of dude,
Mhm.
level of understanding him. So it is very much individualized. And then you incorporate the angels with that, you get a gray area, you get that balance, you get both of the best, and you can take and draw from both of them and create something powerful.
Doesn't
Hello.
mean one is good or one is bad. No. It's
Exactly.
like looking at two different sides of the coin, right? The two
Exactly.
complete the one. I mean, you can't have one without the other, kind of. It
It,
feels like that.
in every aspect, you have love and hates. You have, all these yin and yang, light, dark. It's all.
So, what we were going to do is we're going to start off with the pool because we've got the occult tarot, which has the demons. We're going to do the major arcana, and the angel tarot, which has the angels. And we are going to take the fool card to start off with. And we're going to compare the fool and each demon and angel and look into those angels and what that means, how it correlates. And then at the end of that particular talk, then we'll just shuffle to see which one we get next in the major arcana and go like week to week with that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we'll even give you a bit of advice if you want to work with them, different things about them. I thought that would be a really neat area to explore and something that, we could all use a bit of information about. I think it's definitely time to break the stigma of right and wrong, good and evil, that duality. I think it's time we enlighten ourselves to the gray area.
So you might want to respond to some of these, sweetheart, some of the chat.
Oh, and hello everybody that joined. Raven Shadows, Dice Controller, Blade of Astaroth, hello. Good to see you guys back. Okay, so Lady Blind Wolf been doing shadow work. Hello, Chat Eries, looking absolutely beautiful. Hello, Amethyst. Oh, wait, thank you, Raven.
Isn't she? She's gorgeous. I tell her that all the time.
So are you, doll.
Thank you.
Trying to get what's blocking you, like your chakra, or do you feel blocked? I went through that recently too, where I just felt blocked, like depleted, like.
Lady Blind Wolf, have you started any like past life stuff at all? Because I wonder if that is also related to your sight at all. Yeah.
And she says, oh, sorry. Dice Controller asked, what demons? Oh, I've worked with a few so far. I've worked with Beelzebub, Belial, Clonic. There's more. I just can't think of them. But yeah. Lilith, oh gosh, Incubi, Succubus, my favorite. And
she does have a question, Lady Blind Wolf.
Okay, you've been drawn to the gray.
If you want to get that off, sweetie, the comment, you just hit it again.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. There you go.
Rachele helped me get tech savvy.
I've just used this so many times and I know you're new to it. Plus doing it on the phone, it's not easy. But
Ancestors? Ponus, have you ever gotten back your offering from other beings? I've sent my sexual energy to Lucifer and Lilith, but I get more aroused each day. Ponus, that is going to happen. When you are working with them, one thing I can make clear is the arousal. That is what feeds this exchange with those entities, and is an actual exchange between you and the spirit. A day ain't gonna pass where you ain't gonna be highly aroused while working with them. I mean, even things that you normally wouldn't even be turned on with, don't be surprised if you do become aroused with it. That is one major symptom when you're working with those type of beings.
so my friend said that they sent it back because they have no use for it, etc. Is that true? What?
We always have you our energy and offerings. Oh, I don't feel that's true in my opinion, Ponus. Like I said, it's an exchange, especially when you're interacting with them, and they can always find use for energy and sexual energy, especially. They'll even take it if you're not offering it to them at times.
Well, who was the demon that has been just recently calling out to you? It was Azazel, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't Azazel have something to do with sexual stuff?
Seduction, yes.
Seduction. All right, there you go. But yes, I can definitely see that energy exchange.
Seducing the ladies.
So Lady Blind Wolf says, okay, so I started on meditation and I was doing a shadow work meditation, and instead of seeing my shadow self, I saw other people. What do you think about that? Because I've got a definite thought on that.
Archetypes is what comes to my mind. What's your thought?
One of the things that I had never even thought of until I hooked up with Amber, Lavender Moon, and she started talking about, how you have the infinity, then you have the guiding self. This is what these beings are telling her. And then it trickles down into this mind-body complex or mind-body machine. But one thing that I thought was very interesting when the archangel stuff came up and that I had also asked the beings, because she let me ask the beings some questions when she was channeling, and is that we don't all just have our own higher self. We might share a guiding self with other people, or we do definitely share guiding self. So I wonder if when she's asking for shadow work, if she's not seeing actually other people that are sharing her same guiding self. They're all like the other parts of her that, that's kind of what I seen, because I always thought I had my own higher self. But when I asked even the beings, they said, when I asked them, do some of us in this group share the same guiding self? They said, yes. So my higher self might be your higher self as well. And that's why we have found each other in this life. We have a mission. Yeah.
It very well could be that. Yeah. Just in shadow work, I do remember coming across certain archetypes and identifying them may be able to help. But I kind of took like the hero's alchemical journey and the archetypes that come with that, and I kind of used that to identify my shadow self and the different archetypes that arise through experiences or trauma through my shadow, or people that have guided me, or they each play one of these main archetypes. Everything does in our story, because our lifetime is our alchemical journey. So
wouldn't that be kind of the same thing though? Because when you were telling me about the hero's journey, and I wrote it down in my journal, and we were looking at all the different archetypes, and you said, look through this. Does this person play this role in your life? Does this person play this role? So if we're all part of the same guiding self, wouldn't these be the different archetypes of ourselves that are playing out in another person?
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't you love it when we connect the dots?
See how we do, see, we're
Love it.
Fuller says, is it best to approach Lilith through Nama? How should Lilith be approached? Any books, techniques, etc.? Well, I did not use that approach. No, I approached her through sex rites and rituals and offerings. And I did an invocation with her after attempting to establish communication with her. I know she has there's so much different practitioners get their different experiences with Lilith. But also I have a theory that just Lilith's face alone could be another face to other goddesses as well that have to do with a lot of sensuality and things like that. So using Nama, yes, I've heard people have success with that, but I honestly just kind of dived right into her invocation and started working with her. And that was after, though, I had been introduced to my incubus. That's really what turned my attention toward Lilith a bit, was my experiences with my incubi. But I do have quite a bit of videos on that dice controller. I think I even have it in a playlist if you want to check it out. I put a lot of work into my path working with Lilith. You figured that's how I did it. Yeah. Yep.
So Lady Blind Wolf had said up there, let me see if I can scroll. Remember those ancestral reads I did? It's at Samhain. She said, apparently my ancestors have been telling me I need to get laid. She's not even kidding. She says, but Erie and I have a lot of the same ancestry except for the actual tribes. It's native, but the different tribes, right?
Yeah, because she has as well. We're from different native tribes.
Yeah. She said, read women that run with wolves, or red women that run with wolves.
How did you meet your incubi? To be honest, he just showed up one night. Seriously. And how I knew he was, oh my gosh. So, all right, I'll go ahead and tell the story. One night in my sleep, long, long ago, on a very night, no, I'm just kidding. But I'm in this dream, again, very vivid, just my dreams, how I distinguish between, are they real? Is this an astral experience or a message, or what is this? Very much depends on how vivid it is, how real, what happens, the symbology. So in this particular dream, though, everything felt so real that it freaked me out badly. And it started out, we were on a river in a boat, and it had disguised himself as an ex-lover. That at the time we were freshly broken up. So usually you'll find that they'll do that to appeal to you more. They know what you like. So elaborating on that they know what you like, they built like a forest in the scenery, and it was like all so perfect, too perfect to like my liking, like a dream come true, right? Like literally. But then it started getting sexual, and through the sexual experience, it was so intense, nothing I ever felt with a human before. And every time I would get like a certain feeling like, wait a minute, something ain't right here. And I would go to look at the incubi to confront it and be like, what's going on here? It's like it would look at me and put me into this weird trance of nothing but bliss. And I'd forget that something was wrong or that I had a fear. And I'd just be entranced into the sexual like ecstasy. And I woke up, did a bit of research because it was so real. And then, you know, a woman can tell certain things about their bodies. And it was very much physical as well the next morning. And then it started manifesting like before I went to sleep. I would feel like slithering on my legs, almost like a serpentine type of entity. And I would become extremely aroused by it. Like,
damn, I would have freaked the hell out just saying.
I was terrified after that first experience I just talked about. I was all over online. What the hell is this? About like, quite a few years now. Quite a few years have passed now. But I was on there. What the fuck is this? You know, looking. Found information on Incubi, and I went, "That's it. That's what he is." And I've grown to really form a bond with it. It went from fear and, oh my God, I don't like this. This is an intruder. What the hell's going on? To actually realizing that, I mean, it was kind of appealing to me.
Give me more, right? Give me more.
Experience. I mean, so people ask me, well, why do you do it? And I'm like, well, why the fuck not? You know? So yeah, that's kind of how I met my incubi, and to this day I still have a little bond with him. Very protective. He'll pop up every now and again, and I love him. I do. And Rachele and I have even recently wondered ourselves, could these entities as well be like lovers from another lifetime, another dimension even?
If you think about it, I mean, even in the Bible, how did Jesus come about? Because God lay down with, or, you know, she had a dream, right? And then bam. We hear stories about hybrids, women being implanted, and then the babies. So like implantations, you know. We look at these stories that are on Gaia, and they're talking about how these aliens came in and like seeded the earth with all these different experiments. And they didn't just do it on humans. They did it on, I think the first thing that they said that they did it on was like whales. Right? Yeah. So then you hear the stories of like mermen and civilizations that were in the water. Well, I mean, according to this history, it probably really did happen, you know, according to many things that I watched. So,
and like, elaborating what she said, like that's how I've come to the conclusion. I viewed all these spirits, all these entities a certain way back a few years ago, and then it's like it all kind of into this, and all hell broke loose, and I'm going, wow, it all relates to so yeah, it's interesting. And Ponus, for how long do you build the starter bond with other beings? I know it's different with everybody, or it depends also on your past with them, if you have any thoughts. Well, yeah, I do. I mean, it used to be for like when I first started working with like demons and stuff, I would establish communication for like damn near almost a year before I even attempted to like invoke or evoke them. Just to kind of and like build that altar, kind of establish that link. Now I work a bit more quickly with it, just because I feel confident enough to do that. I think that's going to vary from practitioner to practitioner. If I get a certain, I go by my intuition when it comes to that, really. Like Azazel, I'm getting ready to start working with him. I'm not going to go tomorrow and invoke this guy. So, you know, if it was something lesser, like, for example, clonic, at any time and quickly, you know, our relationship established. Lilith, ours established quite quick, although I think I took probably about 5-6 months of communication with her and building altars and things like that, building that link up with her. It really does depend. And I go solely on my intuition. If I'm feeling that spirit's energy around, because that's what I attempt to do before I even establish invoking them. I try to get a feel for their energy, their essence, because that's how I work. And also helps with intuitive choices. So if I feel like that energy's around me and I have quite a good connection with it, I feel like it will work, you know, in my benefit and the spirits, then I'll go ahead and start preparing to do my rituals. But if something's just kind of heating me away, you know, really it ain't time yet, I don't feel like I should quite yet, you know, kind of like with people. Sometimes you have a one night stand, other times you want to get to know them for 6 months first. Really, it does come down. That's a horrible example, Courtney, but it comes down to the practitioner. I feel do what you're comfortable with and what you are confident with, because I don't even know if there really is a right or wrong time. I say that because each entity I've worked with has been a different experience, has been a different outcome, has been a different bond. So
do you think, honestly, a huge part of it for you was that they had been trying to contact you for a long time? This is something that I hear quite often, that there has been interactions. However, you were in such a fear state in the beginning that they had to stop, right? They had to back up a little bit because, I mean, I kind of think that a lot of it has to do with frequency as well. That's why they have like sigils, they have like different musical notes. Even the angels that we were learning about, they all had different musical notes, days of the week, planets that they're associated with, and or, you know, celestial beings, and sigils. And you could use that for communication, almost like a telephone.
right.
And one of the things that even the beings had said, because I asked them about using sigils and stuff like that, and they said that we as a technology, us people, we're not to that stage yet. However, we ourselves, with inside of our bodies, we can engrave. So we are each a portal ourselves. So I think it's a matter of tuning into that and not being afraid once it happens.
Yes.
It'll come more freely.
Couldn't have said that better myself. Yes. And one thing I'll add that seems to be different and vary as well. Some of these entities contacted me first. Beelzebub. I've seen him manifest in my kitchen at my house in New York. And it shocked me. It caught me off guard. I asked another practitioner, hey, you know, this entity, I know he's kind of he's up there in the leagues, you know, in that hierarchy. Is this something I should do? And they're just like, hey, it's calling you, you know, so go for it. I went for it. I mean, that one kind of bit me in the butt a little bit, but I also learned so much through that one. But I do think my abilities with working closely with the dead or spiritual world may have something to do with that. I don't know. But I do think it's going to vary for each person. And Rachelle's so right when it comes to the frequency. It's all about getting on their frequency.
See, when you were talking about channeling this particular work that you're working on, this book, I don't, and this is just my own perception, but I don't see it as just one being or one group of beings that are contacting you. I think you are like a lantern, honey. I mean, you're like a light. And they know that you're not as fear-stricken as what somebody else is because of what you've already done in the past. I mean, you kind of like broke yourself out of that fear area, and now you're more open. So others are just like attracted to your energy and know that you are going to get it. You're going to get that information. So you're having more than one being. You're actually having a lot of beings that are coming in and trying to talk to you.
Yes.
That's the way I honestly see it.
And lately, it's been so accurate. Like that's daily lately. Why I seem so scattered a lot of the time is due to that. Seriously. And bonus, you spelled clonic correctly. And thank you, Irish and Chill. Thanks. I've heard of him, but it sounds like she is pronouncing it differently. Colonic. Yeah. I'm just staying at home. You in lockdown? Yeah, Clonic's great for beginners. Now he's not going to just hand you everything, but he does bring good opportunities, and he can manipulate electronic systems. Keep that in mind, because that very useful. He loves light verses, the color red. I gifted him a chalice in New York with a horse on it when I first started working with him, and a little red gem that I had. But yeah, he likes a lot of that. I did a couple videos on Clonic as well. That should be in my demons list.
So are we going to be looking at any future readings maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking about doing? I think we should. I think I'm going to start doing some more readings and stuff on here. Maybe practice a little bit with my mediumship as well. I'm trying to get comfortable with that idea, because you never quite know what you're going to get or have come in, especially if it's live and there's a lot of people. So that makes me a little shaky, but it is something I want to be able to do, you know. And yeah, more tarot readings. Rachelle's been working with me, you know, so. And
or pendulum readings or anything like that, right? Yeah.
Pendulum, I'm going to start doing quite a bit. I have a cool idea for making a demon pendulum board as well. So
excellent.
I'm trying to craft it so that people can establish communication with them before invoking and stuff. So that can kind of help them get that bond or link a little bit ahead of time before they're ready to invoke. And also, yeah, what about, we also have some plans on Rachelle's channel for those interested.
Really quick before we get to that though, you have been talking about this book. Tell us about this book. How close are you to having it all written? Have you got the first book written? Because I know there's going to be more, but tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yes, the first draft, the rough draft is written. I have the first 2 chapters edited and ready to go up soon. So they will be available. And all of the money I get on Patreon for it's only going to be £1. You know, all of that is going to go toward publishing it, like for reals.
For reals. I love it.
For reals. And everybody that contributes to that is basically getting the manuscript like early, along with like places I mention of Ireland in it and stuff. I'm going to incorporate some photos and just neat little things, you know, to help benefit the people supporting it. So if that is something you guys decide to do, I would really appreciate that and love you forever. But
I'm definitely in. How soon are you going to be setting up? Because you're creating a Patreon for this particular thing, correct?
Right. That'll probably be up the 1st of January.
So the new year.
I just want it to be really perfect quality, and I want it to work out good, you know. And I'm really excited because there's a lot in it. A lot.
It is so good, guys. Let me tell you, I've only read just a little bit, almost completely the first chapter. It's friggin' excellent. Destiny Bloodline Sagas. Chris just put it in chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
January 2021. So exciting. So will you be putting like a link on here on your channel to your Patreon?
Oh, yes.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
So yeah, over on my channel, we're going to be talking about, I had done a series a little over a year ago. Probably closer to a year and a half ago. I'm not good with the timing stuff. I always get it wrong. But about the different clairs and psychic abilities and stuff like that. And I do believe that we are all going through an ascension. And with that awakening comes the realization or the reactivation of a lot of our psychic abilities. And I mean, I pretty much told you that one of the reasons that I want you doing this with me is because you're like so psychic in so many different ways. I mean, you hear stuff, you see stuff, you dream stuff, you know stuff. I mean, it's like oozing out of you. Okay. So I want to restart this series where we will talk about one particular clair, and these are going to be live chats where we are talking about the symptoms of that particular clair and ways that, because we're going to be doing research on it as well, ways that we can also help develop that particular clair. So that's something we're going to be maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever, because it's a big topic. There's probably a lot to research, but Courtney has said that she will come over and do it on my channel with me. So thank you very much, honey.
No problem. I'd love to. I mean, yeah. I'm sure I'd love to hear about yours too, because you are very gifted, especially in your dreams and your knowing, and her tarot readings, guys.
Thank you.
So what's the book about? It was just going to be a love story, but it turned into okay, so what happens is a girl from New York. I wanted to include some cultural difference, some whatever. Anyway, sorry, my mind just flatlined. So a girl moves from New York. She's kind of been different in her appearance and her genetics her whole life, was adopted. And she moves to Ireland and discovers a secret society that opens up her path and more information about her anomalies that she was born with. So it went from kind of being this fantasy secret society story into that secret society is now based around the entities I've been channeling and multiple races from that, and how this group of people that she meets and interacts with all fit into that, and the balance of like the universe. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I didn't prepare a pitch for this, but
yeah, I had to grill you about it. People want to know, damn it.
I'm awful with it. I am. I'm sorry, guys. I'm terrible at this stuff. And publish it on Lulu. I never heard of Lulu, but I'm gonna check into that. Thank you, Dice Controller. I am gonna publish it on Amazon, but also like one goal I wanted to master before I die is to have a physically published book of mine in my hands.
That is excellent. And you will do it. I know you will.
So does anybody have any questions or?
I'm sure, Bonus did up above.
Sorry, Bonus.
And well, I'm so busy talking, but she says, or I'm not sure if Bonus is female or male, but oh, now I get it. And when you said he affects phones, etc., my headphones just went low battery. Now I get it. I did see red orb at night. Also, I have been getting lots of flies before the winter, like 30 or more few days in a row. And now in the wintertime, I'm getting fruit flies out of nowhere. What do flies stand for? Isn't there a particular demon that deals with the flies? Lord of the Flies?
Beelzebub, Beelzebub. I do firmly believe that he was once upon a time Baal, but that's for other discussions. But yeah, before he fully actually manifested himself to me, now I always do say try to debunk everything else before first going to automatically, it's Beelzebub, but make sure they're not coming from any source, and then it's a little more difficult to explain. Along with other signs I would watch out for, because if they know you have an interest in them, they will start making themselves known in subtle ways like that. They can manifest. They could even turn your attention toward things you're looking at online, researching. A spirit's name may pop up in your head, or you might cross a video about them and it really resonates with you. In my experience, that is a lot on how they work, especially if they know you have interest in working with them. So it's kind of a call to meet them halfway if you're ready for that. But yes, flies I experienced just before Beelzebub manifested himself. And I do from time to time get some flies, and I have that energetic shift again where I know that's his energy. So yeah, it very well could be.
And, fruit flies can come in easily, like on boxes or your fruit from the grocery store. But if you're continually trying to get rid of them and you're not getting rid of them, then yeah,
Yep.
there might be something else, like a message or something, right? Is what you're saying, somebody trying to contact? Kind of like in the same way that you're getting the ravens all the time. When we'll have a certain conversation, all of a sudden you'll hear the ravens going crazy outside your window.
I can't go without them. I go to the store and stuff. What's interesting about that is, looking back, when I got kind of that pull to working with Hecate, or a while back there, ravens were very prominent in that as well for me. So yeah, now, I'm feeling a lot of Odin energy, a lot of other energies, and ravens, man. Can't get rid of them, but I love them.
So do you think that Odin was an alien then?
Oh yes. The dream I had with him, let me tell y'all, this shook me. This is when I really said, okay, all right, we're on to something here. I forgot to add that, that's valid to this story. Yeah, while I was having those crazy dreams, I'm sitting up in my bed and I was like already kind of communicating with Odin, starting to like reach out, get a feel for his essence. And I had asked him, I said, so would one of you answer me? It wasn't like directly at Odin, but I just asked out if any of you entities, could answer me somehow. I'd like to know this. Are the gods aliens? And that night I had a dream. I'm sitting at a wooden table in a longhouse, and Odin walks up, sits down, and he's kind of like chuckling at me, like, so what is it you don't understand about that? and I'm like, well, are you an alien? In my dream. And he pulls out the eye that he sacrificed, and he put it in the palm of my hand, and he said, the price for knowledge. Basically, as careful what you wish for, because
Just might get it.
right. So I took that to heart. I was like, confirmation, man, because all these dots were connecting together, and then the group of girls and other people, it's like a chain reaction right now. Everybody's having these experiences, and I've come to now view a lot of these as higher dimensional, or what someone would consider an extraterrestrial being. A lot of demons, you look at them, or even angels, a lot of them are holding up parts of the sky, even have correlations with planets. Some of them are watchers, some have to do with elements. And the word daemon, okay, means those who can dwell between the realm of the gods and man.
Isn't that an angel too?
Yes. Right? All of those beings that we talk to, that we work with, communicate with. And I don't think, once you really look at it, don't picture weird parasites or like little green men. Picture us. May be a bit different, but humanoid,
Giants too, right?
Yes,
giant nature.
Yes, very much. I mean, you just look at mythology, you can start connecting dots on the same faces in each pantheon. Like, okay, this could be the same person. So you have Zeus, Yahweh, Odin, etc. And then you find a demonic entity that also associates with them. But then if you think about this, these were considered gods. Why? Because they had abilities. They had these powers that we don't perceive right now as us having. However, it seemed to be natural for them and a part of their natural world back when people believed in this. Our ancestors were not stupid. Okay, they were not making metaphors and similes and everything that they talked about or drew or created. They believed this wholeheartedly. And I don't think it's that elaborate to think that perhaps it is because they were higher dimensional beings. Had a fly issue.
You want to know what's funny? You know, I'm in our office, right, on my laptop, and I know this is live, guys, but my cat is up here sleeping on Sully's bed, took over his bed, and now Sully's laying next to the cat on the floor. That never happens. He usually chases her off. He's just like, I'll live it. And yeah, what's happening with the audio?
Stuff's going on. So, we've been getting technology issues as well.
Okay, everyone's. Our internet is running slow, my husband said. So was it my audio, or is it Courtney? Is it her audio, Erie's Witchcraft? Or is it both of ours?
Testing. 1,
2, 3.
Well, hit that hour, girl. Time flies when we have fun.
Yes. We always have fun. Our chats last, what, 2-3 hours? Oh. If you guys only knew. Your voice came through at one point, and it's making some weird noises and cutting off. You know what? When I was doing it with Amber, that sounded really funny. When I was doing my live feed with Amber, I started sounding like a robot. I go, don't miss Dora.
That's off and on every now and again. Same for both.
Our cue to get the hell out of here, right?
Dice says, looks and sounds good to me.
Cool.
Talking.
When I was talking, like male voice, I heard it too now. Oh, well, my husband is talking. Could it be that? He came home from work and he's just sitting across from me. So he said a couple of things. Could it be that? Or is it on Courtney's end? Is there someone that's, actually trying to communicate? I wonder. There was a weird thing with the Paranormal Purgatory, or I forgot her channel. She was having some weird stuff when we were on a live stream.
Could be.
Technology. You just got done talking about it, how they can mess with technology, right? Yeah. Azazel has something to do with technology too, doesn't he?
Probably. He knows pretty much all the universal secrets and knowledge, I'm sure, because he taught people how to make weapons from metals, makeup. I'm sure he. No. Interesting.
It was on yours, she said. It was on yours, on your channel, honey. So there's a voice, a male voice coming from yours.
Yeah, but my guy wasn't talking.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's something else there with you that's talking also.
Always.
It's being captured.
Always.
We need to come do some ghost hunting at your location. You need to get all the equipment.
Love to. I want to get a spirit box, so when I am communicating with them, perhaps other people could see our interaction. I want to establish some way so people can experience what I am It's
Oh. Pona says it's like from both. I don't know. Once I started joking about us talking about a lot of beings, I felt heavy, cold energy over me. Yeah, he's, Chris says he's in the bedroom. He's not talking. There's something else. You know what? Let me ask you guys something really quick. If you guys can hear everything that we're saying. Oh, wow. Can you see that? There's like something coming off of. What the hell? That is weird.
I've
Okay.
been
Well, anyways.
around you lately too when we talk. Or
Really? I've been starting to see like auras lately. I don't get it. Which is another reason we got to start doing this series, right? Because I think this is probably happening to a lot of people. But you and I had talked and about the Ouija board. I am too much of a big baby. I'm not doing a Ouija board right now. I don't feel comfortable. However, I wouldn't mind asking a question to you if you were doing it on your channel. So is that something that you're wanting to do maybe too?
yeah, my issue have not started that because I do want to start that soon as well. I spilt wax on it during a ritual I did not long ago. And I got to get the wax off it. Dice controller says her incubi may be feeling frisky. Well, I'm always down, and he knows it.
Yeah, listen to the blind woman with better hearing. He came on and cut you off. It was just for like a second. Wow.
Yeah, a lady blind wolf about the research on the property. No, I haven't yet. However, I have picked up a lot myself off the location. But as far as actually researching it yet, no.
Coming full circle. What was that all about? Did she say something earlier about like the Black Plague? Is that something that you had around you where you're at now?
I'm not sure.
Was it Black Plague or did I read that wrong? I don't know.
A series with Eries. I like.
I would love that because, like I said, I'm too big of a baby to do that. But I wouldn't have a problem if you were doing it. Ask you. Get your donations up here so people can donate, and you're doing your Ouija board stuff, spirit board. You can be our guinea pig.
Gladly. It's always that one friend too, though. You go first. No, you go first. I'll go first. Damn it. About Odin.
Mona says, I keep thinking about Odin. Maybe it's him with you. Maybe that's why I felt heavy, cold energy. Wow, yeah.
Been feeling in and out a lot. He has making himself, even in my two sons, they've even recently got their calling into their paths. They're going toward the Nordic. They're feeling Odin. Like ravens came and sat down beside them, flew in from our balcony and sat beside them at the table. Like the boys, they're getting it as well. A lot of people. Like I saw purple around you.
Yeah. Do you mean as in like aura, honey? Is that what you mean? Or could it be because I'm wearing a purple shirt? She also said, I would really be careful using a board because there is way too much spiritual energy at your place. I really think you have a type of portal there at your apartment, is what she's saying.
There are several. Oh, yes. There's so much history on these lands and in this apartment building. I walk out in the main stairwell, and of course, nothing happened here recently, but I get this pungent smell of death. Mm-hmm. And that's been happening to me off and on as well. And I look at my son, I'm like, do you smell something dead? And they're just going, no. But then other times, my oldest will be like, yes, I do as well. But others can't seem to smell it. But it's just such a heavy energy in the whole apartment complex. A lot has happened here and around you. However, a board itself is a portal. A sigil itself is a portal. I'm a portal. Learning to control and open and close them.
I think that's what they were meaning when I talked with Lavender Moon, through Amber, that we ourselves are naturally engraved, so we can be portals because it's frequency. It's just making sure that you're attuned to that frequency, and you could. I want to be able to teleport anywhere. Just saying.
Oh,
how cool would that be?
I know what she's referring to now. That figure I see with the stag horns, and then the other one with plague mask, or it looks like a bird, like a crow's raven skull. Yeah, almost like plague mask, but it's like a giant raven skull, and I've seen him for a while. But
some kind of shift because things are going for full circle. Ona says, I died by black rotten meat in my past when I was a nun. Oh my goodness gracious.
Close those portals. Nah. No, I'm just kidding.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I just love that. I can live vicariously through your gutsy actions because I'm too much of a baby. I'm a scaredy cat.
Sometimes it's handed to me for it, but I'm like, it was worth it. I can now.
You're like limping and
but I know things now.
It's just a matter of building up that energy again, right? Yeah. It was on your face. I told her, what?
Ooh.
The guy with the mask, the bird mask that you guys had seen, it was on your face. I told her. What was on your face? A bird mask was on your face? Courtney?
Not that I was aware of. But I have been
cut the power off and no one could cook. Oh, fried eggs. Fried eggs are like in sulfur because I have heard that when you smell sulfur too, that means that there are spirits around.
I've smelled sulfur. I've smelled like rotten, but also it isn't as common as I thought it would be while working with a lot of them either.
Portals. Ooh.
Weird about that. Meat lately smells dead and rotten to me. It could have been butchered yesterday and it's not bad and nobody else smells it, but that too. I can't eat meat now because I'm like,
Exactly. I feel weird energy, like my both hands feel cold.
Are you Amethyst Ponus? Weird energy on your skin. Yeah. See, that tells me that you are perfect for spirit work as well, because those are things you pay attention to. Those are shifts. Those are energetic frequency shifts that you feel while working. So I would document every time in a book of shadows or a journal or something, every time you're kind of getting these feelings or symptoms, and document what's around you. Just take a moment to really feel it in your core. Close your eyes if you have to, and see how the energy around you feels. One of the first things I tell people, if something is there, everything's going to shift in that room energetically. That'll be the first thing that you will feel.
I think it's actually clairsentience. Empathy is where you can emotionally feel. Clairsentience is where you can actually take on those physical feelings in your body. So it's like an even accelerated form of clairempathy. And so Chris is even saying, I'm an empath, my hands are frozen. Yeah. So
Oh, from my,
it's one of them will do, but look into that clear sentience and find out what are the symptoms of that and stuff. And how can you like learn to hone it and stuff. From your side. Take you to the blind school, boy. You will feel stuff.
oh yeah, school she went to for the blind, a lot of history happened there, and she was doing some cool research on the land near her where I think a Indian burial ground was there. She discovered or something along those lines, if I remember correctly. I might have it wrong, but you guys know memory and scatterbrain.
And I kept telling you that I felt stuff on that. I found some stuff out, but not what I thought I found out, that that guy in the building next door was a Freemason. Interesting. Wow, this has been so much fun, honey. You know, we could go on forever.
Thank you for coming on my channel and chatting with me, and I hope you guys are excited. We're excited. As you can see, there's just no way of cramming everything we have to offer in one video, but you're going to start seeing it come out. We've got so much to bring to you, and I'm excited to be with Rachele on this. And yeah, so some of you guys, if you know, she talks about a lot of cool stuff on her channel. Go check her out. And thank you. Thank you for joining me. I missed this. I did. And happy to be here with y'all and continuing. She's back, guys.
She's back. So, are we going to be here next Saturday?
Yep.
And doing our first, what do you want to call it? Like angels and demons, or demons and angels, or something like that?
Yeah, well, some sort of badassery like that.
Right on. So, thank you, honey. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, guys.